We've discussed how the alternatives, they're people are starting to take advantage of them. What this last year has shown us is that a lot of the big entities, more than ever, I mean, we saw this kind of happen over the last 4 or 5 years, or rather be accelerated, but I think it was accelerated the most in that period of time throughout this past year, right? And that is that a lot of these big brands that you guys grew up with have taken a stance on social justice and hating you and all sorts of things. So it's difficult for people to kind of remove themselves from that. And I understand that. I'm not one of those guys. I say this time and time again. I will continue to remind you guys. I am not one of those that expects you, even as a guy that's going to be entering in this space and becoming a guy that's going to be doing comic books. I'm not going to tell you to remove yourself entirely from these brands that you guys are familiar with. All I ask is 51%. And what I mean by that is that if you can just give a little over half, slight majority of your money, your interest, your eyes, funding to people that don't hate you, that are creating alternatives in these spaces, you will start to see a more cultural shift. That doesn't mean support any and all alternatives. The good ones, the guys that are actually talented at what it is that they do. And there's plenty of them. A lot of you guys have neglected culture and you like to think it's not a thing. It absolutely is a thing. But the good thing is that there are people starting to put that to like that they're applying that. And they're starting to show less interest in some of the things. You've seen ratings go down across the board with some of these entities. Nobody cares as much what Hollywood thinks except the blue-haired weirdos and that they try to appeal to. Ratings go down, Golden Globes, Oscars, all of this stuff, whatever. Disney misses on subscriber expectations. Park revenue still hurt by COVID restrictions. Disney reported second quarter results Thursday, posting lower than expected revenue and subscriber counts for the streaming service. Now, of course, this is still a lot of fucking subscribers. But they're not doing what they think they're supposed to do. Says Disney reported second quarter results Thursday. I'm reading this from CNBC, by the way. Posting lower than expected revenue and subscriber counts for its streaming services. The company's stock dipped around 3.5% in after hours trading. Earnings per share, blah, blah, blah. Streaming, the company missed on subscriber expectations for Disney Plus, coming in at 103.6 million. It was expected to post 109, which again, that's not the big, it's not this large gap, but it is something worth noting, according to FactSet. The streaming service had been hosting the company's success as it was losing out on business from COVID restrictions, but it seems the rapid growth is starting to slow. Still, the company reiterated the plans to see between 230 and 260 million subscribers by 2024. So in 3 years, they expect to see that. Will they see that? We'll see. The quarter's numbers were exactly as we projected internally, so no disappointment here. That is literally to the contrary. Average monthly revenue per user dipped 29% year over year to $3.99, which the company attributed to the launch of Disney Plus Hotstar. The service has lower average monthly revenue per paid subscriber than traditional Disney Plus in other markets, so they expected that because of that. Disney CFO Christine McCarthy said the company's earnings call that excluding Hotstar, average revenue per paid Disney Plus subscriber would have been $561 a quarter. Interesting. The company said it now has around 159 million total subscribers across the streaming services, and that's including Hulu and everything, and ESPN and all of that. Revenue for Disney Plus direct-to-consumer business grew 59%. And that's direct-to-consumer business, which has helped offset the losses. So the losses that they are experiencing is going to, like streaming services and what have you. So they didn't hit their quarter projections, though they did get some of that stuff offset in terms of their losses. They did extend the MLB contract in 2028 and an 8-year soccer deal. It's not the victory that I think a lot of people are going to try to pretend that it is, but it does speak to something. And what it speaks to is that people aren't as interested as even they anticipate. So you can imagine all around. But even as they anticipate, people aren't as interested in their branding or the brands of the stuff that they're doing. Now, again, why that is the case, you can dispute it. I think a lot of it has to do with, well, Disney and their approach to the properties that they have and how they've been running a lot of them into the ground. So I will reiterate, this is a great opportunity for a lot of us that are entering into the independent space and the people that have always been there. I think that if you beat on your craft as much as you possibly can in this period of time, you have the chance to capture the eyes of a lot of people who are actively seeking alternatives to their entertainment now. Now more than ever. Maybe not as much as before, but this opportunity is one that we may not get for a very long time. And albeit it's a self-inflicted wound. Yes, we have a lot more stuff at our disposal than we had in comparison to previous years with the technology and crowdfunding and all of that. That is the thing now, or is a thing in comparison to what it was. And now, though, people are actively searching it because people are starting to reach their threshold. Okay, you said you hate me. You keep hiring these weirdos. You keep running the brands that I was familiar with into the ground. You got Star Wars. You got Marvel. I'm not interested in what you're putting out now. As interested. So it may not be off a cliff, but it may be a short decline. Now that decline may be accelerated as people start to see competitors actually be good at what it is they do. So to me, this is a great time and a time to be ambitious, and it's a time to be as I don't know, that inspiration. If you're not going to find it now, you're probably never going to find it. They're leaving a door open for a lot of us. Take it. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.